Good morning, and welcome to Elasticon Public Sector Illuminate the Possibilities. I can't tell you how excited I am to have all of you here together. Finally, after a long 3 years, we're all back in person. Thank you so much for taking your valuable time and being here with us today. We have a star-studded, action-packed agenda. We're going to make the most of your time today. And I'm going to get into the agenda in a moment, but first I want to take a second and introduce myself. Oh, and I think I need let me grab the clicker here. So my name is Chris Townsend. I'm relatively new to Elastic. I joined last summer, and I wanted to share some observations over my first 6 months here with Elastic. And I'm going to ask all of you a question that I want to talk about over the course of today and us working together over the coming years. What motivates me to join any technology company is the ability, in public sector, is the ability to make an impact on the mission. There's a lot of technology companies out there that deliver tech that we need, and that's great, but I like to be part of companies that really can impact the mission of government and the mission of public sector. And a quick note on public sector, we just brought together our state and local team with our federal team to create a true public sector vertical so we can continue to invest and align our resources around the mission of government. And you're going to hear a lot about that today. So with that, I'm going to share my first few months here and some observations. And then again, I'm going to end with a question that I want to talk with all of you about as we go through these next today together and this journey in government and public sector. So when Elastic first reached out to me last summer about possibly coming over and joining, I was very excited, right? Elastic's reputation as a great company and a great technology, a great culture, great people preceded it. I knew Elastic was a wonderful organization and doing great things, and most of my high-tech career in government was spent over the last 20 years. Most of it was in cybersecurity. So I knew the power that Elastic could bring in terms of cybersecurity, the massive scale they can deliver around their cybersecurity tools, the threat hunting capability that most government agencies and enterprise agencies that are really delivering security operations at scale rely on Elastic. So I knew they had a really solid platform in cybersecurity and we're a leader there. Obviously, Elasticsearch goes without saying, one of the most powerful search platforms in the world, the ability to index massive amounts of data and do search efficiently and cost effectively. No one does it better than Elastic. So just those two criteria alone, coupled with a company reputation, it was a no-brainer coming over to Elastic. But I reached out to many people I knew in the industry, friends, customers, partners, many of you in this room before I decided to join Elastic, and asked you, hey, how is Elastic working for you? What are you using Elastic for? Where do you see Elastic going? And the feedback was overwhelming. How excited everyone was about Elastic and how you were using Elastic in your organizations. And I learned a ton about what we were doing outside of security, outside of search. Things like application performance monitoring, AI operations, and data analytics, and how we're using data to power the mission of government. So again, obviously it was a no-brainer. I joined. Best career decision I've ever made. Couldn't be happier. So once I get on board with Elastic, I start asking people internally. I start asking the sales team and the engineers and my peers, hey, how do we characterize Elastic? We have all this great capability, but how do we characterize what we do? How do I describe Elastic to my dad, for example? And I got a lot of answers around, hey, we do this security, we do AI ops, we do observability, we do search, but that doesn't really tie Elastic together as to what we really do, the value that we bring. So I sat down with some of the engineering team and the sales team, and I said, hey, let's put together a bill of materials and show me how we provide our services, how do we quote, for example, our security or observability or search to a customer. And they're like, well, that's easy. We've got one SKU, one part number. I said, how do we have one part number and all this capability? And this one part number includes all of the capability, including our endpoint capability. It's because we're positioning a platform. We have a true data platform, and we provide a massively scalable data platform to our government customers to support the mission, and then they can overlay solution templates, third-party capability, partner capability to carve that data in multiple different ways to support the mission, whether that mission is cybersecurity, whether that mission is to improve healthcare to veterans, And I'll share a lot of these use cases that I've learned over the last few months, or whether it's to make sure that applications are up and performing the way that they need to. So, and I know many of you probably are sitting in the room thinking, hey, it took you that long to figure it out, but I'm a sales guy, so sometimes things come slower to me. But yes, I finally figured out that Elastic is a data platform company, the best in the world at what we do. So I went to the data.gov website, and this is the first slide on the data.gov website. And this crystallized it for me, right? Government wants to be able to take data across all the platforms that they use, across the cloud platforms, across Amazon and Azure and GCP. They want to take it from on-prem. They want to take structured and unstructured data, index it, overlay knowledge engine on top of it, and deliver outcomes, right? Data's not about AI and ML and data indexing and scale. It's about delivering outcomes to support the mission. And that's what we do here at Elastic. And the mission impacts we're having are phenomenal. We're improving healthcare delivery. We're improving citizen service delivery at state and local and the federal level. We're doing some really cool stuff with law enforcement at the federal and state and local level that allow our communities to be more secure. We're helping with compliance and observability. We're helping with application performance, as I mentioned before, and of course, we talk about the incredible power that we bring to cybersecurity and the leadership that we bring to cybersecurity. So here's the question that I've been getting to. We do all these great mission impacting things. We have this massive data platform that scales and indexes the data more efficiently, cost effectively than anyone else in the industry. Yet when I go out and I meet with our customers and our partners, most of you are consuming our technology in certain silos and pockets and not taking full advantage of the platform. And my goal as the new leader of public sector at Elastic is to, number one, make sure we're delivering solutions that empower the mission of government and making sure that you derive the maximum value from the investment that you've made in our tools. And I feel like we're leaving value on the table. So my question is, how can we better help you derive more value out of the Elastic platform that you've already invested in? And again, it's not us trying to sell you more Elastic, although that would be great, buy as much Elastic as you'd like, but how do we help you derive more value from your existing Elastic investment? So I'd love to have that conversation over the course of today and in the future. But one other thing I want to mention, you're going to see this when I get to the agenda slides in a moment. Elastic is committed to the government sector, right? We created this public sector vertical. If you look at the agenda, we have all of our Elastic executives here, and I'm not exaggerating. We have our founder, we have our CEO, we have our CRO, we have the chief product officer. We have a tremendous slate of executives here. We have, I think, over 43 customer meetings just today, customer and partner meetings just today with those executives. And I'm going to ask a favor of all of you. Please make those a two-way conversation. I can talk to our senior leadership till I'm blue in the face about everything that you guys need, but it's so much more powerful if you communicate it directly to our execs. And they'll certainly tell you where we're going from a product standpoint and the future of Elastic, but please communicate what you need in government so we can, again, more effectively support the mission and deliver maximum value. So with that, I'm going to continue, because I'm sure I'm way over time already, and get into the agenda. And I'm not going to go through all of the agenda, but again, suffice it to say, we've got a great slate of our senior executive leadership here at Elastic that are going to be up on stage. We've got great partner support at the event and partners that are presenting today. But I wanted to call out some of our customers that are going to be up on stage today, because some of them made long trips out here, and I just really appreciate taking the time to put together a presentation and coming up here on stage and talking about how you're using Elastic and how Elastic is powering your mission. So first, we've got Joshua Pritchard from the Army Corps of Engineers going to talk about some really cool geolocation things that we're doing with Elastic and Army Corps of Engineers. Then we've got Ian Lee from Lawrence Livermore National Labs, and you may have read recently about how Ian generated positive energy out of nuclear fusion. Well, not Ian directly, but the labs did, so we should give him some credit for that. But he is going to talk about security in a high-performance computing environment. And then we've got Jonathan Doherty from Mentat, who are doing some really cool things at the state and local level. So thank you very much I want to thank our customers very much for taking the time. And I also, special thank you to Ian because he flew out from the West Coast to be here. So again, thank you. I'm really looking forward to that. And last thing I'll say, because I think I'm probably already over time, but last but not least, is I want to thank our sponsors, because without our sponsors, events like this, getting us all back together after 3 years, they're not possible. Microsoft, Carahsoft, ECS, ShorePoint, Worldwide, ClearQuery, Government Acquisitions, NVIDIA, Pure Storage, Recorded Future, Siren, Swish, and Tynes. Thank you so much for your support of this event. All right, so without further ado, it's my honor to introduce somebody that really needs no introduction, the founder of Elastic, Shay Banon.